Well, I'm back here this week at the New Orleans Convention Center because we're going to give you a preview of all things related to the exhibit hall this week on the Road to New Orleans, presented by New Orleans Baptist Theological Seminary. Hello, welcome to this week's episode of the Road to New Orleans, presented by New Orleans Baptist Theological Seminary. We got a great episode for you today because we're going to talk all about the exhibit hall. Joining me today is Rachel Gulledge. Rachel, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Jonathan. It's great to be here.
Thank you for being here, and because you run the exhibit hall for us, basically. You're like the queen of the exhibit hall. You sit in there, deal with all the exhibitors, help them get moved in, get moved out, and answer any questions. And today we're going to be answering questions for messengers that are coming to the 2023 SBC annual meeting and pastors conference in New Orleans. So big news this year out of the exhibit hall is that it's open on Sunday this year.
That's right. We are very excited to have our exhibit hall open on Sunday for the very first time. And so messengers can start coming to the exhibit hall starting at 3 o'clock on Sunday, and then it'll close at 7. So that gives everybody a chance to walk through the exhibit hall and see what we have to offer for the week.
That's right. And they'll be able to get into the pastors conference once it's closed. And then on Monday and Tuesday, 8 to 6, right?
That's
for the
right.
exhibit hall. And then on Wednesday, 8 until 3 o'clock or whenever that last session starts.
That is correct. We want to give people extra time, as sometimes the meetings are running over, to kind of have their last minute before the annual meeting ends.
Yeah. All right. So another thing, not only are the hours longer this year because of the Sunday opening, but we've got a lot of people coming to exhibit.
We do. We have so many excited vendors and ministries and businesses that are so excited to see our messengers and attendees this year. Jonathan, I am so excited to say we have the largest exhibit hall in annual meeting history. We have 213 exhibitors. It's amazing.
Wow. So how does that compare to last year? I think we had about 140, 150 last year.
135 last year.
135.
Yeah.
So 50% bigger this year, at least more than 50%. So that's amazing. I didn't even realize it was that many more than what we had last year in Anaheim. So
yeah.
So wow. Okay. So you got an extra time to get through the exhibit hall because you're going to need it basically because 213 different exhibitors. One of the things that you don't want to miss in the exhibit hall too is the Lifeway booth. Now, all right, so you have the notes, I have the notes here, but let's talk a little bit about what Lifeway is doing. You can find out more if you want, go into the app on your phone, and you can go into the app and click on Lifeway in the app, and it'll take you to this, and you can get all the information. But Lifeway is doing a ton in the exhibit hall this year. They always do. But this year they got free ministry consultations. We can get one-on-one guidance with your specific ministry questions from an expert. So you can schedule that in the app as well. You can get discounts at the Lifeway store. I think they have the $5 Devos, 20% off of Bible studies, 40% off of Bibles. Get you a new CSB over there at the Lifeway store. They have a lot of things going on at the Lifeway store. And then you can also get it shipped back so you don't have to haul it back. So that's kind of a nice bonus.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, and then another couple things, the Hi-Fi curriculum they're debuting this year, the new digital curriculum for kids and students. You can check that out and talk to somebody at the Lifeway booth about that. And then they have an interactive exhibit with Ministry Grid and Lifeway.com. And as well, just a lot of resources for pastors. They have Spanish language resources. So a lot of things going on at the Lifeway booth in the exhibit hall. Another thing that's kind of new to the exhibit hall this year is some food vendors. We're going to have a food area in the exhibit hall.
I mean, we're basically going to have our own food court in the exhibit hall. I mean, we might be the best mall in New Orleans while, the annual meeting's going on.
That's right. That's right. 213 stores, a food court. We just need a fountain and a choir group singing. And we'll probably have
maybe
that too.
An ice skating rink on the side,
That'll be a little tough in the heat in New Orleans. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So
great because our food court, a lot of people in Anaheim are like, hey, we would love to like eat in the convention center or, in the exhibit hall. And so we had this great idea to do a food court in the exhibit hall. And we're actually going to have tables and chairs for people to sit down and to eat. So you can do a little shopping and then get something to eat
yeah.
as well.
Or you can sit there while your husband goes around and buys all the stuff at Lifeway, all the Bibles and everything like that. If
Just
you
what my
just want
husband
to
would do.
chill. Yeah,
So,
exactly. Yeah, you know how that is.
yes.
Also, you don't have to walk out or go try to find coffee or anything like that. We'll have coffee stations in there. So the exhibit hall is going to be a place that really you can hang out for hours on end. Now, we don't want you to do that because we have business, we have the pastors conference and stuff.
Right.
But if you need a break from that and you need a place to go, the exhibit hall is a great place for that this year, including all the shopping, like you said, kind of at the Lifeway store, and then also you got the food court. So another thing that's I know a highlight for a lot of people at the exhibit hall is the CP stage.
Yes, absolutely.
So you got interviews with ministry leaders and everything. Rachel, I know you've seen that. So it's a good time for you to kind of learn, take a load off,
Yes.
sit around, watch, and learn and listen to those who are leading ministries across the country.
Absolutely. What I love about the CP stage is there's always like great couches and seating for people to sit at. And the schedule is just like round the clock. There's always somebody up there and it's always somebody different. And I have myself benefited from that to learn kind of more about the Southern Baptist Convention or the annual meeting specifically through the guests that we have up there. So please be sure to check out the CP stage. I think that'll be really informative for a lot of people.
Yeah, and right next door to that will be the IMB booth and the NAM booth where you can, talk to real life missionaries. And I know that sounds kind of weird and corny, but at the same time, I think a lot of our Southern Baptists, especially, maybe if you're coming from a rural setting or something like that, you may not know a Southern Baptist missionary.
Right. And what great connections they could make for their churches if they stop by and meet these missionaries and hear what God's doing in their countries.
Yeah.
It's an incredible opportunity.
And there's always good swag as well.
Absolutely. I mean, don't want to knock our other ministries, but NAM and IMB, it's hard to compete with the swag that they give away for sure.
Yeah, and as well as our entities, you've got the all the seminaries. They always do big giveaways. I know Guidestone is doing another one this year. Guidestone even has a couple of booths. They got a big booth where you can go in and everything, but they have another booth which is basically for blood pressure and some kind of health checkups.
So they have their wellness booth, which ironically is next to the food court. So if you're worried about eating too much food in the food court, you can get your blood pressure checked at the wellness booth. So we're excited about that. So Guidestone has the biggest booth they've ever had. And then they wanted an additional booth for their wellness. So make sure you check out their wellness booth for all your health needs there.
That's right. And then, if you have any questions about any of the booths or want to see a full listing of the exhibitors or just kind of a layout of the exhibit hall, we're going to have aisle signs this year. So if you see booth, 1511, you'll be able to look up and see aisle 1500 and it's on that aisle. So those will be available for you. But you've got a big map in the app as well as a full exhibitor listing and exhibit information from exhibitors in the messenger guide and the bags that you get at registration.
Yes. And one of the great additions this year, and make sure that you have to have the app to get this, is we have the exhibitor information guide in the app, like Jonathan said, but you can have all the links to their Facebook, social media pages, their websites, all of that is accessed in the app for you. So if you want to know more about your favorite, ministry, or if there's someone you talk to, you can find their contact information in our app on that list.
Yeah, so a great addition this year, again, to our exhibit hall area. Rachel, we appreciate the leadership that you are stewarding over the exhibit hall, and we look forward to seeing you in New Orleans next month as we get ready for the 2023 SBC annual meeting.
I'm so excited. Make sure you come by and say hey to me, but we're so excited to see everybody in NOLA. See you soon.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us, Rachel, and thank you for watching this week's episode of The Road to New Orleans presented by New Orleans Baptist Theological Seminary.